Hey guys, I'm trying to figure out how to put my phone up somewhere aside from having to hold it. Not sure what's on my face. Looks like dirt. I have dirt on my face. So I'm out here and I am enjoying sitting on the porch for once. I haven't sat on the porch since we moved out here. This neighborhood, this road is pretty busy. It's like a cut through. Well, it's okay. I'm up kind of late. I didn't really sleep very well. I don't know. I was in a car all day yesterday. So, lots of cool stuff going on with us. Lots of positives, lots and lots of positives. This year started off so rocky. Like, not even joking, so rocky. I tried to go get my CDL. I got my permit, but I didn't get my license because I was kind of set up with the hope that I could, and I could get the training, and oh, it's so easy, and whatever. I never heard back from any of them. After I got my permit, after I, said that, I was willing to start whenever, passed all the tests, never heard back from anybody. I don't think I don't know. I think a lot of it is, oh, my neighbor has a minivan. Her husband does lawn care service, because I've seen him pull the trailer. Guy across the street is doing his yard. The lady just had the husky outside. At least I think it's a husky. Never really heard him howling or anything. But he's too small to be a Malamute. I always thought Malamutes were big and fluffy. Anyway, yeah, started off rocky, did not get my CDL. Got my bike permit, have not gotten my license. I had a job for a year and a half where everybody sung my praises, including my supervisor, I guess the level 3 lady. We didn't have a level 2, the level 3 in accounting, to her bosses and everything, and then totally started treating me like I was an awful employee when they hired on the office assistant that didn't do anything and refused to learn anything. And I got really fed up with being treated like a second-rate citizen in a job that I was really good at. But it was killing my car, the commute back and forth. It was killing my pocket because I had no money to really pay my bills. And I was getting pretty miserable with it. And then come February, I had my CDL permit. I had everything lined up with promises with the union over here, and I was like, whatever, and I quit. And come the end of February, didn't hear anything from anybody. Come the end of March, I get my tax returns back. Still haven't heard anything from anybody. I'm putting in applications at this point because I'm not sitting around waiting. I have bills to pay. And so, yeah. I put in applications, and then come the beginning of March, I had a bunch of interviews. So towards the end of February, I'm putting in applications. Beginning of March, all of March, I'm putting in applications. Beginning of March, I had a bunch of interviews, like a bunch of interviews. I have a good resume. I have a bachelor's degree. I have an associate's degree. I have a 1-year tech certificate. I'm educated, which means I'm trainable. So, oh, I guess he's done cutting his grass. That was really fast. So, I guess people saw that. I don't know. No clue. I had a recruiter pick up my resume, and they got a hold of this business in Amelia. That was about 40 minutes drive or so. And they set up my interview and everything with the CFO. They set up my interview with the office manager. And they liked me. And they kept swearing that the other person that was currently in the position was temporary and they don't do their job well, and like they badmouthed her like crazy. Come to find out, that wasn't the case at all. She had started the position when the other girl retired. She was not trained for the position. She was actually in a different position. And her mother worked in the warehouse. And she was pregnant. So it's not temporary. She did part-time at home and part-time in the office, like 2 days a week. So she wasn't even part-time. She was full-time. So that was another lie I was given. And it's not like she didn't know how to do her job either. She was overwhelmed. They were months behind because she was all by herself, untrained, and not knowing what exactly to do. And she was doing her best because I could see a lot of progress in everything. And she tried to teach me a few things, but even she didn't know. So I had to kind of learn a lot of it on my own. I think I did really well. The CFO, complimented me, and every time I got a compliment on how well I was doing, it seemed to piss off the office manager. She didn't like me for some reason. Not sure why. Guess she's jealous of people that are good at something. I don't know, because all she's good at is monitoring cameras and firing people and catching attitude. Because she doesn't do anything else other than sit at her desk all damn day. And play her on her phone, even though she complained that other people were on their phones. So we were in the moving process because prior to this in April, I started in June. In April, I broke my wrist and I had surgery. I got a fairly gnarly little scar. It goes about halfway down my forearm, and I have very limited mobility in my wrist and my fingers. It gets really like tight feeling, kind of like putting on a tight glove. That's what it feels like. I'm very restricted, arthritic. And so I was recovering from all of that by myself because I asked for help a lot. I asked for help in cutting the grass. I asked for even the simplest help of helping me, like even keep me company while I cleaned or something, because I was struggling with one hand, my non-dominant hand, to do anything around the house, much less function. And nobody helped me. Nobody came to help me. Nobody came to check in on me. One person would message me. That's about it. I had friends from Virginia Beach that happened to be in the area that stopped by, that brought me some cleaning supplies and a frozen lasagna. And I couldn't thank them enough. Like literally when I saw them, I cried. Like I was just like, you guys have no clue how freaking alone I feel right now. Like Robert's at work all the time and I'm stuck in this house by myself with an arm I can't even freaking use. The house was a disaster. I had gotten a message from the landlord that she had sold the house out from under me. So I'd lost motivation to even want to clean the house because it wasn't even going to be mine. And I need to find somewhere else to live and learn how to, and figure out how to pack everything and stuff while I was just starting a new job in June. And then some house hunting. I got one job, and then I got a second job And then legal drama started because his baby mama decided that she was going to be so vengeful over a Father's Day post that I had made with pictures that he took of his own child with him and during his time with her, and put them up on my page, and was like, we'll always love her. But he's not seen her in 3 years because of baby mama drama, legal drama, and lies and slander and everything all over social media. And yeah, we've got all our receipts, all of it. You know how I do. But apparently she don't know how I do, and she is now facing a severe backlash, and it's going to cost her freedom. So she made a fake page with his name on it, stole my photo, which had my boys' faces on it, and him holding his newborn daughter at the time. It was like a collage photo of him with my boys and stuff, like for a Father's Day post, because he's stepdad for the first time ever. And she put that on the fake page with his name on it, blank page, and sent herself messages threatening herself, severe threats, and filed for a protection order as well as felony threats on him. And then she used that exact same account, the exact same messages, to, at the end of the month, she did this on Father's Day. Then at the end of the month, about 10 days later, messaged herself again, more threats, because she wasn't getting fast enough responses, I guess, as a violation of or something. I don't know. I don't know the timeline or whatever. But I think it was like a temporary protection order that we never even received. And that wasn't enough for her. So she filed like a violation or something. Went to court, she got the protection order, and made some snarky posts online that she can get away with anything. She can make all the fake profiles she wants, that we're going to suffer for it, and maybe she just needs to find somebody to off us and stuff. I screenshotted all of that before it was taken down. And we reported the fake page. I had Meta on the phone at one point in time. I recorded the conversation with Meta on the phone. Trying to take down this fake page and getting it flagged and everything. I had the link to it. I had everything in written text messaging with him, which I screenshotted and sent to the lawyer. Like, there's the link and everything. And so after all that following Wednesday after court, the first court hearing, she had her friend send a threat message to Robert's Facebook, threatening to fight him. We don't know who this person is. I've never seen the name before, but apparently there's a picture back in 2007 of her hugging on him, and then she went to court and claimed that she didn't know him, and I printed out that picture after that because I was like, yeah, that's bullshit, because he's even tagged in it. He's apparently like married or dating her cousin or some crap like that. Her daughter's in it. One of her daughters is in it, the picture. A lot of the pictures. It was one of their birthdays. So yeah, we caught her in that lie, which will be brought up later on. Because she ain't done facing that one. Sending somebody to come threaten us. And then after that, I filed a protection order. And I was granted it immediately, with the screenshots of the Facebook post and the screenshots of his message to us, or Robert, and everything. It was granted immediately. I went the next morning and I got it temporarily done for like a week and a half or something like that till court. Granted immediately. And then court, and she went in there, and the first thing she tried to argue was she didn't have her phone that day. And she was like, yeah, like, I only have one phone, and I didn't have the phone that day. My daughter had my phone all day long. Oh, my mom and my daughter are here to defend me in my lies, and put a 17-year-old on the stand to argue that her mom didn't have her phone all day. But everyone in that household has a phone. There's multiple phones. There's also tablets and stuff in that household. So one phone means nothing, because she also went in to argue that I made the post or something like that without any evidence to prove that I made it, and I didn't. Obviously. Why would I? And then she went to say that she had screenshots of something else. I don't remember what it was. But the judge made her go get her phone to find those screenshots because she didn't have them on her. She was not prepared. She was going to walk into court and just, like, excuse the fact that oh, it's not mine. No. It's not going to work. So she got desperate and ran and grabbed her phone and came in, and she was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Oh, I can't find it. Maybe it's on my other phone. You just told the lawyer or the judge you only have one phone. And you didn't have that phone on you all day. But you have screenshots on your other phone. Okay. Anyway. So my lawyer's argument, I paid for a lawyer. My lawyer's argument was, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. Meaning, if it looks like a threat and it sounds like a threat, it's a threat. Regardless of who posted it. It could have been her, could have been her daughter, who had her phone, allegedly. It could have been her mother. It could have been anybody in control of that profile, and then deleted it afterwards thinking it was probably funny. And they got caught. And the judge was like, that makes sense. And I agree. And then she turned to her and goes, if it was me and I was being accused of some fake post on my page, I wouldn't immediately go, oh, I didn't have my phone that day. I would be pissed off and wanting to know where the hell the post went and who the hell posted it. She was like, you had the weakest argument I've ever heard in my life, and that's insulting. And we left. The whole time going to court and everything, just to get a protection order on that person. Like, they were mocking me in the hallway, and my lawyer heard it. Like, I was walking into the courtroom, and they were like, oh, it's all an act. She's so fake. She's not scared of nobody. She's just being a bitch. Da, 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 da. In the hallway, in front of other people. In front of the officer, the bailiff. I'm pretty sure he relayed that information to the judge. So, word to the wise, if you ever go to court, you shut your damn mouth, even in the waiting room. Because everybody listening will report that shit to the judge or the bailiff. And I know this for a fact, because in my dad and my mom's custody situation, something that was said in the waiting room was reported to the judge, and my stepmother got told off for it. Yeah, you make yourself look really dumb when you go into court and start bad-mouthing the person that's accusing you of something. You kind of give them the evidence there. You can't play stupid after that. Anyway. She tried to appeal it. The first appeal, the judge said no. Nope. Not overriding the other judge's decision. The judge made a good decision she still tried to argue that she wasn't the one behind the page, and now all of a sudden it's not even her page. She even went on there and changed the profile picture, which I screenshotted the exact time that she did it after the first court hearing, of her sitting in the car, grinning, and her daughter's behind her in the picture. And she changed the profile picture. Obviously, she's still in control of the profile. So we showed that, and so that obviously was another lie that she was caught in. And now she's changed the picture again and added a middle name to it and verified it. Meta verified the profile that allegedly she has no control over and that she didn't make posts on. I mean, there's a level of stupid, but I'm not at that. Man, I'm fat. I am. So, first appeal denied. His court cases are going through. It's all getting continued. They're getting the state police involved in investigating. Continued. His is still continued to the end of this month. So there's not a lot of updates there. She did file another alleged violation on him, because she won't stop. That's just what she does. She just files these random violations and lies on legal documents and makes false statements. And she got caught in that one because he was actually with an officer of the law at that time, who had time and date stamped, had him on camera with the officer in a building. He was talking to him at the alleged time that he allegedly chased her down after court and threatened her and and then she changed her story in court the following time that, oh no, he was standing in the parking lot across from the courthouse or something, and he gestured at her, or she just couldn't remember. But since the fact that he was with a documented officer on camera at a documented time, that she put literally the time on her complaint, 11:08 a.m. He was with the officer till 11:16 a.m. after that court hearing. They're throwing that one out. But the other two, the felony threats and the second violation, they're waiting to get, or the first violation, sorry, the text message, the second text message violating the protective order, and then the threats of the protective order, or the message. There's a lot of cars coming out of that driveway. Who all lives there? Those are still pending, but there's a twist to that. So let me go back to mine. She appealed the appeal. Well, she appealed and she was told no for my case. She appealed that. And that was supposed to be yesterday, Friday. And prior to that, I filed a violation on her because I got messages from what looked like a fake profile with her name on it. No picture, no nothing, blank. And it was a picture of her flipping me off, or flipping off the camera, sent to me with a bunch of threats and her phone number on it, which can be traced back to apparently one of her daughter's pages has that phone number and her mailing address online on Facebook. So that's safe for kids. And so I screenshotted those and filed a violation. For the violation, we went to court on Monday, this past Monday. She took a plea deal. She wanted 6 months extended onto the protection order, which would have canceled out her filing the appeal to begin with, because you can't agree to more time if you're trying to get rid of it altogether. She would have lost the appeal hands down. And the judge said no. I had all my screenshots and stuff with me. I was ready to go. The judge said, no, you either give me another deal or we go forward with this and you get prosecuted. And so the lawyers agreed that she would withdraw her appeal in order to not get prosecuted. But I can raise the prosecution back within the next year. If she violates again, then she'll get 2 violations at the same time within a year. I have the legal right for that. So I agreed to that. Yep. This violation can be pending for a year if she withdraws the appeal. She leaves court. They're standing out in the hallway. I walk right past them. I don't know why they're standing around, because they didn't withdraw it while they were there, which is the dumbest thing I ever witnessed. I mean, while you're there, you drive an hour out to go to court. You're nowhere ever in that area. Might as well do it while you're there. So I emailed my lawyer, his lawyer, and updated them on everything, like I always do. Every single court date, I update all of the lawyers involved so that they're all filled in. They don't have to contact each other through email. That includes the Commonwealth attorneys that have been on the cases and everything. Everybody's included in my email, except for her lawyer. And so one of mine reached out to her lawyer and informed him of what was going on. And apparently he tried to call her multiple times, allegedly, and she's not returning his calls or nothing like that. She's dodging him entirely. I don't know if it's because she probably owes him money. And maybe she did like a partial retainer and he was waiting until court to get paid the rest of it or something. That could be the case. You never know. But that seems most likely. She tried to file a protection order on me in retaliation, as well as harassment by computer on me. So her protection order was denied flat out. She appealed that. She wasn't even granted a temporary nothing. No emergency, no nothing. It was denied flat out, and she appealed that. The harassment by computer didn't go through for a month. I didn't receive it until like the end of August. And I had a court appointed for that, but still I updated all the other lawyers on what's going on. And that got dismissed because she didn't even go in there with a lawyer. She had no prosecutor. No prosecutor. And it was kind of a joke. Like the judge, I was already sitting up front. And the judge goes, well, who's, the petitioner? They didn't even call her up front for her own case. And she was like standing in the middle of the aisle, and they were like, well, where's the prosecuting attorney? Well, I don't have one. There isn't one assigned? No. Nobody wanted to take it. And there was attorneys sitting there, and one guy was like, I guess I'll look at it. Like, he didn't care. And so we handed the screenshots and everything over. We handed my protection over on her to him. Her threat messages that I've received, her threat posts that I had received from her. And he walked off with it and comes back and refuses to do the case. So they go upstairs and get the Commonwealth attorney. He comes down, he looks at all the same stuff and explains to her that everything I post online is not harassment compared to the shit that she's posting. And they're dismissing the case. And that's what the judge wrote on the piece of paper. Dismissed based off of lack of evidence. Or evidentiary something. All the legalese terminology. Yeah. And yeah. So that was dismissed on me. That was last week I went to court for. This Monday, oh, and her appeal of the protection order was like August 5th or something. Also just denied again. Again, the judge had already told her. The judge was like, this isn't harassment. You stay off her page if you don't like what she's posted in her opinions, but this isn't harassment. Not even remotely in the legal terms. So you're just taking offense at something somebody posts and throwing a fit over it when you don't need to be. Is basically what the judge said. So she said multiple judges now and multiple lawyers now tell her to stay off of my page and that nothing I post is considered harassment. I'm allowed to talk about my story and what goes on with me legally. I'm allowed to talk about it. I'm also allowed to talk about his stuff and what goes on with him because he lives with me. It's his kid. It's his problems are my problems. Get the fuck over it. Like, seriously? It's not like she's not posting shit all over the Facebook for 3 years now. We have screenshots of all of it. All of her court dates and everything, what's going on, and threatening us and harassing us and mocking us and apparently calling the police constantly because we're being accused of things that there's no way we've done it. Like, I think at one point in time she was like, oh, they're calling my phone and breathing. We don't know your phone number. We don't know any of those phone numbers. They're calling on the phone and breathing. Why the fuck would we bother and waste our time? Like, seriously? Whatever. But yeah, we've been accused of a lot of things. So what I did was, I got a hold of a lawyer in Richmond. And I talked to him a little bit and I explained kind of a brief overview of everything going on. I said there's still ongoing stuff. But once all of that is settled, I want to know what we can do to fire back. And he was like, oh, I would love to take this case. And I would love to throw her in jail. And I would love to sue the crap out of her for you. All right. So how much do you charge? He said, for you, $1,000. He said that is the lowest I legally can go. So we've been gathering the evidence. I've gone to the courthouses, both of them, because it's in 2 different counties. And I've gotten all of the written complaints in her handwriting, all of the written complaints. A lot of them are repetitive. She says the same thing over and over and over. And all of the dismissals, all of the forms, every single one of them. And we just got the other one yesterday while we were up there. Because now that I moved, I'm never ever over there. So I was like, while I'm over here, I want to get that written complaint of that one time that we had to go to court over here. And the dismissal form. So I got that. So that's added to the case. My folder is a mile thick. I have screenshots on Google Drives, thousands of them. I have a printed out folder for all the current stuff and all of the filings and written complaints together. To be added to that. I haven't even updated the past few months in my Google Drives with the screenshots and recordings and stuff. It's a lot. And then at one point she was trying, when she was doing her appeal or whatever of my protection order, she had retained the lawyer specifically for that. Not for any other of her cases, specifically just to get out of the protection order. And her lawyer sent me something trying to get access to my social media and messages, 2 of which I took a video screen recording of me scrolling my Facebook, flipping through my groups, flipping through my messages and whatever, and I sent it to my lawyer. And my lawyer called me after reviewing that video, and he said, there's nothing else? I said, you literally saw me scrolling it. There's no break in the video. He goes, yeah. He was like, allegedly she was telling her lawyer that you were posting that you weren't afraid of her and whatever. I said, why would I put that? That one, she's been proven a liar in court multiple times, especially in front of you. With the whole, I didn't have my phone that day, oh, it's on my other phone. It's not my page, but I'm changing the photo and the name of it twice. Yeah. No. I was like, why would I post something stupid like that? If I get a protection order, it's because I fear what a crazy person can do and what they've posted. And that's not okay. I said, I would never put that. And she goes, he goes, she had her lawyer convinced you had something like that on there. And he was like, this is just all ridiculous. And it's a waste of y'all's time and money and energy. I was like, yeah, that's the point. That's the point. She's mad because I made a Facebook post that says that we love a child. That's the point. Reserving my opinion there. Anyway, so she took the plea agreement to withdraw the appeal that she had hired a lawyer for and gone through my freaking social media for and found nothing, because nothing's there and nothing will ever be there, because I'm not stupid. And she's losing one case after another. She's disappeared. Now, she shut down most of her pages. And I know which one she's on. And it's more than one. Because I see random little updates. But that's about it. There's no posts that are public or anything like that. All the photos and videos have been hidden and taken down. Her mother has taken down her page, I think, entirely. And created a whole new fake page with no profile photo. But I don't know if it's the same page and she simply just removed all of her photos. I have a feeling it's the same page. We have mutual friends on their pages. So I get fed screenshots. She ain't hiding from nobody. She's still on there. But I don't need to use any of that information. I got enough. I have enough. Anyway, yesterday, I didn't know if the appeal was withdrawn. Hold on, big truck. Rednecks. I didn't know if it was withdrawn. I had heard from my lawyer the day prior. He was like, yeah, this is what's going on. They can't seem to reach her. The lawyer is well aware. The lawyer's tried to contact the clerk of court and explain what's going on and blah, 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 blah. So her lawyer's doing what he was supposed to do. Commendable. Especially since he was paid. Hopefully. I hope he got his money. I showed up to both court hearings anyway. Well, I didn't show up to his. She didn't show up. So the first one is it was the third one. The second violation, where allegedly he chased her down and blah, 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 when he was actually with the officer on camera, that one's going away. Because you're not going to accuse an officer of falsifying documents and falsifying time and whatever. It's not going to happen. It's there. That one's going away due to evidence. The fake profile messages and the threat, those two, the first violation, you know, using that fake account to message her the second time at the end of the month, and the threats that she filed. The Commonwealth attorney, the prosecutor, is actually involving the state police and stuff in to gather evidence to, one, prove it's not him, and to, two, kind of prove it was her, which I hope they do, because they will. And when they do, I want all of that evidence. I want the recording of her changing her story in court, which his lawyer took. He recorded it from the statement to being on the stand. And I want copies and proof that she created a whole fake Facebook page to file all of this crap for 2-3 months straight. It cost me my job. When I was in the process of moving, literally the day of moving, I got fired for apparently my attendance for having to go to court so much, which is illegal actually in this state. It is a class 1 misdemeanor to retaliate against any employee, especially a full-time employee, if they are legally bound to go to court. He just ran over a stick or a rock or something. I hit the fence. I heard it. Pow. My lawyer said to file something against my boss, but I was like, no, because they can go in there and change their story. They're not going to go in there and validate. That's why they fired me. I could have recorded it, but I wasn't expecting it. But I had already had another job lined up, and I was going to be working 3 jobs, but since that one let me go, it kind of did me a favor. So I didn't see it as a negative thing. I liked that job. I didn't like the office manager, but I liked the people I worked with. I liked the job. I had fun with the job. I'm not going to say it was a bad experience at all. I don't care. It was too much of a commute once I moved out here. So that job did me a favor, to be quite honest. I wasn't going to keep it on my resume though, because I didn't stay there long, despite the experience. But when I talk about my experience, if I have to do an interview or anything like that, I will brush over that, yeah, I've done this, but I won't say for how long or when it happened. If that makes sense. So I'm still working 2 jobs. I had to let go of the HR job. I don't remember if I posted it on here or not, but so while we're waiting on his court stuff to be continued and proof that she did everything, then I'll get back with my lawyer in Richmond. Once I pay off this lawyer that I have now, I owe him like $700, and then I'll contact the guy in Richmond and be like, all right, here's all the information. Here's all of the recent information, all the old information, all of it for the past 3 years. Have fun. And then it's going to be a slurry of filings against her, plus suing her. And it's going to be a pretty high amount. She don't have it. She will never have it. She's going to have to get a damn job for once in her life. But that's besides the point. I'm just updating you guys on everything legally, because as far as I can tell, updating you is not going to have any effect on anything. Everybody knows what's going on right about now, so it's not going to affect anything. And I am legally allowed to talk about my experience and what's going on with me, so long as I don't post any sort of threat. And in this entire video, I've not posted any sort of threat. I've not said their name or names. I've not said any judges' names. I've not said any lawyers' names. I've not even said the counties or anything like that. So as far as anybody concerned watching this, y'all have no clue. You just know me. And most of you don't even know what my Facebook page name is. So that's cool too. So it's not like and don't involve yourself, because there's no point. It'll all be settled soon, and it's a reap what you sow kind of thing. if you're going to be a hateful person and maliciously file things to hurt someone, to hurt more than one person, you're going to pay the consequences legally. And it's going to happen. Because I'm done sitting around going, alright, somebody say something. Well, I'm not somebody, I guess. I'm going to say something. And it's not going to be pretty. But yeah, her appeal was withdrawn. I went up to the courthouse anyway. Nobody was there. I mean, the place was freaking empty. There was like 2 people there, really. They weren't there. My lawyer wasn't there. Her lawyer wasn't there. I tried to get a note from the clerk to say that I was at court, but she was like, since there was no court, you technically weren't at court, and I can't give you a note for your employer. So I messaged my lawyer, and I was like, can you at least send me like an email saying that the case was withdrawn, and so I can time date stamp it or whatever? And he did. I screenshotted that and sent it to my boss, because I had to take the day off yesterday. The whole day off. I mean, that's money out of my pocket. And, so, weed whacker. Oh, it's a quiet one. The yard looks really good. Our gardener needs to come out here and do our yard. Our landlord does our yard. Not the landlord herself, her person. Trying to think of what else. So, but yeah, I had to let the HR job go. One, the commute was becoming a pain, but I was not getting any hours. It would have made up for it, but I was not getting any hours. And I would be scheduled like one day every 2 weeks or something. It was that bad. And I would go in, and I wasn't even scheduled to do HR stuff. So I wasn't able to update the stuff that nobody else updates. And it went a whole month with no updates because nobody did it. And I went in that last time on a Saturday, and it was on a Saturday. Usually I get scheduled on a Sunday, and that's when they're doing the markdowns and stuff, and I'm spending all day on my feet doing markdowns and stuff. HR shouldn't be doing that. So I was scheduled on Saturday. I got all dressed up, thinking I was going to finally get my HR stuff done. I was so far behind on everything because they're not scheduling me for it. And I walk in there, and on my printout, because everybody has their printout of their station and stuff for the employees so they know where they're going to be at and everything. For mine, again, it did not say HR. I'm all dressed up, and I get ushered to the back shipping dock area to put tags on clothing, because I'm supposed to be inventory and stock or something and greeter. I'm not trained to be any of that. I'm not gonna be any of that. That's not what I applied for. That's not what I'm gonna do. And if you're gonna pay me $19 an hour to stand at a front door to ask people if they've downloaded the app that they probably haven't downloaded and don't care, that's on you. But I'm not gonna do it, because as an HR person, that's stupid. You pay somebody $13 an hour for that, not 19. So an hour into my shift, I simply left. I went home. About an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I get a phone call finally from them. Neighbors. I love it. This is a nice neighborhood. But my neighbor came over to talk to the other neighbor while he's wee whacking. So I left there. I didn't answer the phone when they called. They called once and only once. They did not leave a message. They did not text me, even though 2 of them have my phone number to text me and have done so prior. They did not try to call back. They did not email me when all of them have my email, because clearly they sent an email for my resignation 2 weeks later. But I had already contacted the lady that hired me, the HR lady that I had replaced, because she moved up in the company to another location. And I basically told her I was sorry, because I thought I was doing a great job, and nobody had come to me to explain to me anything, and kept putting me in positions that I didn't want to do, and I wasn't hired to do, and I was not trained to do, and I wasn't going to do it. And that I feel like I let her down, because I had to set this expectation with her of what I was going to do and how I was going to uphold her level of standard and make it better, which I thought I was doing. And the shift before last, I was promised to be trained for MOD for the second time I was being promised that. So I promised that. I was being promised that before. I was supposed to be trained for being manager on duty to do closing. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I believe that. Took that with a grain of salt. Never been scheduled a manager on duty shift. Not once. Never really been fully trained. I've been shown a couple of things here and there. Didn't make any sense to me. Because when you schedule me twice a month, how am I supposed to retain any of that information? So I sent that email out. I didn't hear anything back until a week later when I got a termination email. I was like, we tried to reach out multiple times. I had to respond. I CC'd the HR person that had hired me and the managers. I said, here's the screenshots of my text messages, of my phone call log, of my voicemail, and you're not on any of them. So don't try to cover your ass saying that you tried to reach out. You have no clue why I left. You didn't care why I left. You hadn't been scheduling me to begin with, and you hadn't been scheduling me for my own position. So I don't care why you did what you did, and you don't care why I did what I did. And let's just leave it at that. And I didn't receive a response, and I wasn't going to expect one. But I had my say, and I'm not wrong. But I still worked 2 jobs because I had already got hired on somewhere else during the day, and I had my night job. So during the day I do claims insurance for a clinic. I like the job. The people I work with, it's a hit or miss depending on who they are, but I'm doing my best, and I think I'm doing really well. And no, I like it for now. My night job I really like. And I have applied and been approved for a promotion, but the promotion has to wait because they're currently getting someone out of the position, but they legally have to cover their tails, and I can't divulge anything more than that until it has already happened. Because just like with the legal stuff, I mentioned that I had a lot going on and stuff like that. I couldn't talk about it at that time, a couple months ago. Going through this process, I am being trained. I've already done 2 days of training for management with them, kind of in secret. It cannot be out there when the promotion happens until that person is gone, because I'm not only replacing them, I'm going above that station. And they need to prove reason. As an HR person, the only way I can explain this, when you go to let go of a supervisor or a manager, you have to have really good, solid reason, versus an employee, which is like an at-will, I can get rid of you for any reason. a supervisor or a manager holds a bit more station and a bit more solidity within a company. It's harder to get rid of them. It's harder to replace them. So they're setting me up to be the replacement by training me already, by already having approved me behind the scenes, if that makes sense, while they're working on, which is very smart. But I can't divulge anything more than that, and I can't let you know when all of this is going to happen until it's already happened, if that makes sense. Like, I could not divulge what's been going on with court until it's already happened. It's already over with. The cases are already dismissed. There's nothing further to argue, and it doesn't affect my future case or our future case, because we're co-signing on the next stuff against her, the filings and the charges and suing, and we're going in together for that because it's affected both of us, our entire household. It's been filed on both of us. So this lawyer is taking on 2 clients for one very big case, and it's going to be big. And once that starts, I won't be able to talk about that until it's over with. And once it's over with, honestly, I'm going to throw it out into the newspapers, because social media and the news needs to see that this level of parental alienation and this level of harassment exists. And people get away with it because they go to court and they lie. And they lie on these statements, and they lie just to hurt somebody. And if you don't get the police involved, if you don't get like good investigators involved in uncovering the actual truth, and you don't have a lawyer every single time, you get railroaded. And that is unfair and unjust, and it needs to change in the legal system, especially when it comes to custody and children. It's not okay. And I'm really hoping that this becomes huge. Not for any sort of fame or whatever. I don't care about that. I want another voice to be heard. I want his voice to be heard. Once and for all. And maybe somebody else can relate to that and knows what to do, or how to go about it, or maybe even has an idea of how to deal with it. Oddly enough, my coffee's still hot, and I've got a nice cool breeze going. You hear a little motorcycle. Sometimes it gets quiet out here, sometimes it gets kind of loud. This is so different. So we've been out here since the end of August. Yeah, literally the last week of August we've been out here. I like it, but I can't keep up with 2 jobs and all this stuff, and coming home with any sort of energy to do my laundry and do my dishes and just function as a normal human being. I still have boxes in my house that I have not unpacked. I still have boxes that I haven't broken down. They're completely empty, but they're just piled up. My laundry's in like 2-3 different piles in the house. My dishes tend to get overflown sometimes. Like I'm trying. But there's only one of me. But I'm trying to stay positive, because the beginning of the year was pretty awful. I mean, y'all saw it. It was pretty awful. But I've learned this year to just kind of take things one step at a time and to not catastrophize as bad as I used to. I think I've handled a lot of it pretty well. I mean, I'm entitled to be upset every now and then over stuff, especially when nobody would help me. with moving. Nobody would help me with my broken wrist. Nobody. I had to come to the conclusion that, wow, weird. I just got a text message from Robert asking how I'm feeling. And I'm here talking about my feelings. That's cool. I'll respond to him in a second. But yeah, I've come to the conclusion that nobody's gonna help me. And one, that's not okay. Because what's the point in having friends and family and stuff if you just get ignored? And when you need help, everybody disappears. What's the point? And two, I'm already pretty self-sufficient. I have been for a very long time. But like, it's lonely. And the more I rely on being self-sufficient, the more annoyed I get. Because I'm not freaking Wonder Woman. I can't do it all. And I don't know it all. So when I do struggle, it's now become, instead of, oh, everything is awful and wrong, now it's just a frustration. Like, I'm frustrated with myself because I don't have the help and I don't have any of that. And Robert can't do a lot of stuff. I mean, he tries to do, he cooks. He still cooks every now and then. Mostly dinners. When I get off work at like midnight and stuff like that, because now my trainings are a little bit longer. When shifts close, I'm getting home at like midnight, 1 o'clock. Because I have to close the building now. And he'll still be up and he'll run me a bath if I need it, and he'll make me food in the middle of the night if I need it. And you know, like, he'll put on something on TV or something for me to watch. Usually it's like Ghost Hunters, because we're like obsessed with Ghost Hunters. But I mean, he's trying, but he's worn out too with all of this legal stuff. He's stressed out to the max at work. He's not getting his hours. He's not getting his pay. He's not getting anything but a headache. And because of all the pending crap still going on that keeps getting continued and wasting our time, he can't apply to another job because when you do a background check, you see that pending. So he has to keep waiting and waiting and waiting. And if that makes sense on how frustrating that is, he's now gotten into a headspace where when he gets home, he's had enough of the day. And he'll maybe wash a handful of dishes, which he did last night. He washed a handful of dishes and all of the silverware, but he left the pots and pans and mixing bowls. So I've got those sitting in the sink with hot water right now. Well, it's probably like lukewarm right about now, but I've got those sitting in the sink. And I'll knock those out today. I've got laundry that's already washed, but it needs to be folded and put away. I can do that today. I've probably got one load to wash left. It shouldn't be too bad on laundry today. I have an event tonight at 7 p.m. I'm not scheduled to work because I had already asked off. A bunch of my friends want to get together and do stuff. And even trying to find time to spend with our friends has been a struggle. It's been once every 3 weeks or so, and we'll just go out and we'll go bowling or something. I don't have to pay anything. So I mean, it's not like I'm waiting for other people to pay for anything. I pay for our food, and the bowling is free. Every time I go bowling, it's free. And it's free for everybody that I bring bowling. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, I get free bowling. So all we have to do is go in there and pay for our food and just bowl. Which is nice, because paying for stuff is getting out of control lately. Everything is so expensive. We did do an ice cream social where we all met up and had milkshakes and stuff. That was cool. We all paid for our own stuff there. We're planning a short trip out to like Williamsburg, and that's just 2 like sit down meals on 2 different days while we're out there, just to see if people want to meet up and hang out. And that's literally paying for your own food kind of thing, like we do every time. I'm making enough to cover bills at the moment. I really need this promotion because I'd like to get ahead instead of staying stagnant. And I'm trying to stay very positive about this promotion and hoping that I do well and that everything pans out the way everybody is telling me it's going to. So y'all keep that in mind for me. I hope. Knock on wood, prayers and fingers crossed kind of thing. So I don't know, but yeah. I don't know. This year has been a lot, and I'm trying to focus on what's next. What more can I do? What's next? And forward thinking. It's definitely a lot different feeling. Like I've been less stressed, even with having to go to court, even with a stressful situation at work or one of the jobs or whatever. Like, I'm taking it all with a grain of salt lately. Like, this whole new way of handling everything is just, it's a lot less stress. Now, if I could just focus on my weight. That's gotten out of control. So that's what I'm going to focus on. I was going to wait until I got the promotion so that I knew that I could afford. I wanted to get like a standing meat freezer and probably keep it in the overhang. I don't even know what to call that. Like it's not even a sunroom. It's like a side hallway, like an entrance room or a mud room. I was going to keep it in there. And I could stock up on meats and stuff, but I was going to wait for the promotion so that I could afford all that because, like I said, prices are ridiculous right now. And we're going through elections, so hopefully that helps. Again, knock on wood, prayers and fingers crossed. Because, yeah. But I go into work every day with a can-do attitude, and I get my stuff done, and there's a critter in my yard. I can hear it. I'm gonna go find out what it is. Oh! Hold on. It's a bird. It was a bird in the bush. My butt's probably all dusty. I'm gonna go inside. But yeah. Oh, also, I kind of have. Oh, I'm red. It could be lighting. I half joined a book club. They're supposed to meet on Sundays or whatever. And they already told me what book they're on. They just started it apparently. And you can get it on audio. So, I'm just going to hope I can afford a book club. Because audio subscription, or getting books, can get kind of $20 a pop sometimes. Anyway, I think I just kicked that right out. Nope, still charging. Oh, I have notifications. So, everything's going good. Everything is progressing very well. I think it's going very, very well, honestly. Started off rough. Very, very rough this year. But now look at it. Look, I'm in a new place. I really like this place. I just wish I could straighten it up once and for all. I need time to do that. And maybe I'll get that eventually. But it's not a primary focus at the moment. It's livable. It's just cluttered. And I can't keep up with it at the moment. I'm getting a promotion. I have 2 good jobs. I'm less stressed. I have a protection order. Yeah, I think everything's going really, really well. And again, knock on wood. But I hope it continues to go well. But I'll keep you guys updated on everything. I know this was a lot, but I kind of wanted to go over it now that 99% of it is over, and we kind of are hopeful that they can find the evidence to prove that she's the one behind the page. Otherwise, they have no evidence, and it'll be dismissed either way, but everything is going in that direction. Again, knock on wood, fingers crossed, prayers, please. And now I can talk about everything, and like I said, anything I post has already been verified by multiple judges and multiple lawyers that it's perfectly fine for me to post. I'm allowed to post this stuff. I'm allowed to talk about this stuff because I mean, you're allowed to. It's all over social media. People talking about their experiences in their life and their legal problems and their disability struggles and medical issues and, you know, all that stuff. It's freedom of speech. Which maybe next time, if she tries to file it again, that sort of thing, maybe I can file a violation of my human rights against her as a defense. That would be funny. Anyway, not going down that rabbit hole. That's negative, and I don't want to be negative thinking. I had my coffee. I got laundry to do today. I got laundry to fold. I kind of want to get straightened up a little bit. I do want to break down some of the boxes and get them out of the way and just kind of pile them up in the corner. Broke down. I have a lot of broke down boxes that need to go out for next trash day. I wonder if they pick up cardboard. I don't know if they just dump trash or if they pick up cardboard. I might ask them if I can get up early enough on a Thursday. I might actually go out there and ask them, hey, do you guys take cardboard? No harm in that. Or I could donate it or whatever. Recycle it. That's about it. How are you guys doing? You ready for Thanksgiving? Football. I've been watching football. At one of my jobs, we get to watch football and stuff. I've been watching football. A couple of my teams are doing pretty good. I don't root for just one team. I have 4 of them. And when they're against each other, I do pick a favorite. But I have 4 teams that I like. So I'm not one of those that's just stuck on one team. And hardcore about that. It's not who I am. So I hope one of my teams make it to Super Bowl like they did last year. I'm rooting for them. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. I'm hoping around Thanksgiving I have money for Thanksgiving because my rent comes out around that time. And that's usually when I'm struggling, is that whole week where it's kind of like a purge of like all my bills all at once towards the end of the month. I'm going to try to set aside for it and do something nice in our new house. The lady behind us in that apartment above the shed, she moved out a month ago. Oh, my video cut off on me. But yeah, they moved out. And they've not found anybody to live there, so that's vacant right now. If I could afford it, I would want it. That would be great, but I can't afford it at this time. Because if I could afford it, I would use that as extra space. Maybe as like, I don't know. It's got like a 1 bedroom and a kitchen inside there. I could use that for like any reason. Having company over. Extra space to have company over or something. But yeah, that would be an extra $600 a month I don't have right now. Maybe with my promotion. That would be cool. Then I could have this whole property. I would love that. I would love to have all this property. It's beautiful. But yeah, no issues with the house. Unlike the last house that had like a million issues, no issues with this house so far. We have Groundhog. He likes to burrow underneath the house. I don't know how to keep him out. If you guys have any advice, please, please, please give me advice. How to, cover up the holes so that he won't re-dig them or dig a different one. How to border the house maybe to prevent him from digging. Is there maybe like some sort of border itself that I could put down that they can't get through? Or anything that won't look tacky as heck or the landlord will complain about. Maybe I could do that. But you gotta remember that my porch also has the cross boarding or whatever, so there's a lot of space where something could get under the porch because it's not exactly a boarded off porch underneath it. So I need to be able to fix that a little bit too without her complaining. I mean, I don't mind putting chicken wire on the inside of the boards, the cross boards. That I could probably get away with because it wouldn't look tacky. Maybe. I'm pretty sure I could get away with it. But anyway, let me go do me today, and then tonight, hopefully be able to hang out with some friends that I haven't seen in a while, in a couple of weeks. And we're just hanging out. That's it. This is just a bunch of us just hanging out. We're just like, yeah, we just don't want to sit around the house. If that makes sense. One of our friends is having a bonfire tonight, so I don't know, I might miss out on that one. It's hard to do something when two things are scheduled at once on the same day. Maybe next weekend. That would be cool. Maybe next weekend we'll do the bonfire. They tend to have it every weekend. But yeah. I'm tired. Very tired. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. This video is long enough. I've updated you on literally everything. My hair is like the worst. Okay, so now it just gets greasy, oily on top. I washed this yesterday. Greasy, oily on top. And then you go towards the bottom, it is dry and brittle and cracked. Explain that. Anybody else have hair like mine where it gets oily within a day and then dried and cracked at the bottom? This is terrible. And it doesn't matter how I cut it or whatever. I've used every shampoo possible. Even like shampoo with charcoal and stuff in it that is meant for oily roots. This is what I live with. So it stays in a ponytail, which breaks it even more. I've tried keratin, I've tried charcoal, I've tried repair stuff, I've tried aloe veras, I've tried coconut oils. Nothing works. This is awful. I don't like looking at it. I don't like having it. That's why I shaved it off last time. But I'm too fat for that now. I'm working on it. You know what? I am working on it. This is going to be day one. As I keep saying, I'm going to work on it. And that's just negative. I am working on it. This will be day one of me working on my weight, because I've let it get out of hand. But to be fair, I've been focused on a lot of other things, and that has taken a lot of my attention. And I've just been eating whatever's put in front of me. And that's got to stop. Day one. Hopefully in a couple of months from now, I will have lost a little bit. I'm trying. Alright, anyway, let me put these two videos together. I don't even know where I put my laptop. I've been editing on my phone. So let's hope it can do an hour and something long video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for continually supporting me and giving me advice, as I really appreciate it. I love hearing all of your experiences. If you have any experiences of any of this, working 2 jobs, figuring out promotions, waiting for promotions, legal stuff like this, be cautious with your comments, obviously. But definitely, please, any advice is helpful. Any experience is helpful. Yeah. Day one. Okay. Day one. Bye, guys.